Система PianoWell создана для профессионально обученных пианистов, которые, несмотря на годы практики, чувствуют застой. Если вы сталкиваетесь с напряжением, тревожностью, нестабильностью или постоянным ощущением, что чего-то не хватает, возможно, даже с синдромом самозванца, этот подход может оказаться именно тем, что вам нужно. Вместо того, чтобы полагаться на силу воли или технические повторы, вы откроете для себя иной способ практики, гораздо более радостный, творческий и эффективный. Вы научитесь управлять своей игрой с помощью силы разума, энергии и внутреннего пения. Обещаю, вы еще не сталкивались с подобным методом. Меня зовут Эмма Люман, и за последние 30 лет система PianoWell была разработана, чтобы помочь вам заново открыть внутреннюю связь с музыкой и освободиться от необходимости внешнего одобрения.
Rather than simply telling you what to do, such as for better legato, play smoothly, overlap slightly when releasing fingers, let your fingers sink into soft bato dove, let one note blend into the next, play as if singing, gently enter the key without force, feel the depth of the keys. The PianoWell system teaches how to create and feel these experiences internally. Now I invite you to experience the system firsthand. Follow along with me for the next few minutes and explore these sensations yourself, because in the end the results will speak louder than words. By imagining the notes vividly in your mind, you send subtle impulses into your fingertips, making them naturally responsive and engaged. This allows for a more effortless and expressive sound while keeping your hands relaxed. The way you imagine sound directly affects your muscles. If you picture a harsh or flat sound, you will feel an immediate stiffness in your body. The right sound quality is the one that supports relaxation, warmth, and a round, resonant tone. Try listening to a note sustained with a pedal. You will notice how spacious and fluid it becomes, almost three-dimensional. This is the quality we aim to imagine, watery and expansive. You can now simply picture a note in this quality and observe how your body responds. We can also direct the sound in our mind. Try singing it out loud while imagining that sound first dipping slightly downwards, then shifting to the right or left in an L-shaped motion. Enhance the sensation by gently moving your hand or tilting your head to match the direction. Once you feel the difference, Transition back to internal imagination and mentally replicate, echo your out loud singing. To find the right direction of the note, follow a simple rule. If a note is higher than the previous one, the sound moves to the right. If it's lower, it moves to the left. In this example, the first do diez has no previous note, so we are free to choose any direction. Let's choose to the left. The outward movement, it always feels more natural. The next mi is higher than do diez. That means mi will move to the right. La is higher than mi, is to the right. Do diez to the right. Mi to the right. Fa diez to the right. Sol diez to the right. Now the next note, re diez, is lower than the previous sol diez. We change the direction, re diez is to the left. Si to the left, sol diez to the left, re diez to the left, si to the left, la to the left. Left, right, 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 right. Left, 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 left. Right, 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 right. Left, 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 left. Now let's imagine each note separately in its written on the score direction. You can do it first, helping yourself to create the sound by holding the imagined note with the pedal. While holding do diez with the sustained pedal, we're going to imagine the watery, fluid, expansive, round, three-dimensional texture of the stone, and we're going to direct it with L shape slightly down and to the left. After this preparatory exercise, we can now simply focus on our sound imagination without helping yourself with external sound. You can still remind gently the pitch by touching the key before you start imagining it. Or, if you are able to recall the pitch of the sound in your mind, you can do it without touching the keys. And without even moving your hands. One note at a time. It's curious how I feel right away this warmth and relaxation in my muscles just by imagining the sound in the right quality. And at last we are going to add glissando to our sound imagination by imagining a seamless, beautiful gliss between the notes, within each interval. Sing out loud first, because it will help you to internalize the smooth, flowing connection between sounds. In the future, you will find that we are going to use this method many times, because whatever we do externally or out loud help us to recreate echo sensations internally. We will have to break the pattern, since we're singing out loud, to be able to breathe. Now imagine this sequence of notes exactly the same way. Since we're not singing out loud, we don't have to break the sequence to breathe. If you would like to try to play what you have imagined, you can do this, but know that in the next chapter we will explore how to efficiently express with our motions, hand motions, what we have imagined. So for now, look at your try as a draft. The aim here is to feel how your fingertips receive the impulse of your imagined sound. If your sound imagination is not connected to your body movements, the energy gets trapped, leading to tension and loss of control. Aligning your wrist motion with the imagined sound allows for effortless and natural playing. We use two types of movement. 2D motion, lateral, moves in alignment with the sound direction. If the sound moves to the right, the wrist moves right. If left, the wrist moves left. And 3D motion, circular. When notes move in the same direction, the motion resembles a roll. If they move in opposite directions, it's more of a swing. The 3D motion builds upon the 2D motion, which first establishes the direction right or left before transitioning into a roll or swing. 2D motion, therefore, shows us here that if all the notes are moving to the right, we are going to start our roll by moving our wrist to the right. If radius is to the left, that means 2D motion will be to the left. That shows us that we should start our swing by moving our wrist to the left. To execute the wrist motion correctly, you have to have a relaxed hand. Otherwise, you might hurt yourself. Approach the keys with a feather light touch. Imagine a leaf drifting down and landing on your skin. That's how gentle, fragile, empty and light your touch should be at all time. When we want to express a louder dynamics, we will use arm weight. We will use the free energy of our body. But our hands should always stay very relaxed. And because we have active and engaged fingertips, we will be able to stay on the keyboard even with this approach. Remember this at all time. The good way to check if you play with relaxed hands is always to reflect on the quality of the sound that you produce. If your sound is empty and gentle, that means you're doing everything right. If you feel any force or harshness in the sound, that's an indication that your hands are probably still tense. Maintain awareness of the exact moment your fingers make contact with the key. Picture a clock in front of the keyboard. If the keypad aligns with 9 and 3 o'clock, then your fingers should land gently at 6 o'clock to avoid any tension. Now let's play each note with 2D motion first, and then add 3D motion. Remember to keep your hands relaxed. Remember to maintain a feather light touch, picturing a leaf drifting down and landing on your skin gently. Feel free to let go of the key and not trying to connect the keys with the finger. Because when we're going to apply internal singing and arm weight in the next chapter, this will create the illusion of legato. And most of the time we don't have to connect the notes with our fingers to achieve this. In fact, most of the time that would create more tension rather than a good quality legato. Now, it's important to notice that when we are playing at faster pace, the 3D motion becomes more of elliptical shape. And instead of making this motion, we'll make more that one. Not letting the wrist go deeper than the keypad. If we're speeding up more, those elliptical motion becomes more of a 2D again. Except while making externally those 2D motions, we will feel a 3-dimensional echo of our external motions. Internal singing activates the fine muscles in your palms that control finger movements. These muscles cannot be consciously manipulated from the outside. If you've ever tried to force speed or accuracy mechanically, you know how ineffective that approach is. Start by singing out loud with glissando, just like we did in chapter 1. The voice is a bridge to internal sensation. If you can produce it externally, it's easy to feel it within. Use an open, relaxed ah. Other syllables can create tension. Next, feel a sense of resistance between the notes, as if your sound is moving through dense water. One hand represents your free-flowing sound. Always keep that hand and your voice relaxed. The other applies gentle resistance, like pushing against ocean currents, going in the opposite direction of your singing sound. Now transfer this sensation to internal singing. This resistance that you feel in your vocal cords will affect the fine muscles in your palm, and you will control finger movement through your vocal cords, through your internal singing. Before moving forward, let's integrate everything. Play with 2D wrist motion, then progress to 3D motion. Keep your hands relaxed and empty. Approach the keys with a feather-light touch, like a leaf resting down and landing on your skin. The good way to check if you play with relaxed hands is always to reflect on the quality of the sound that you produce. If your sound is empty and gentle, that means you're doing everything right. If you feel any force or harshness in the sound, that's an indication that your hands are probably still tense. Next, imagine each note in sound texture, the quality, the watery, expansive quality of the sound, movement that is aligned with the direction written on the score, and glissando. Now let's play again with 3D motion, following our sound imagination. That means don't touch the key if you have not imagined it clearly in your mind. Feel free to let go of the key and not trying to connect the keys with the finger. Because when we're going to apply internal singing and arm weight in the next chapter, this will create the illusion of legato. And most of the time we don't have to connect the notes with our fingers to achieve this. In fact, most of the time that would create more tension rather than a good quality legato. Moving next, we're going to internally sing with glissando and resistance each interval. And to conclude, we're gonna play once more, integrating into playing all three elements: wrist motion, sound imagination, and intonation. And remember, your hands don't exist. They are simply a channel for sound imagination and inner singing. And yes, if you felt that it was harder to intonate seconds than thirds and fourths, you were right, because the distance in this small second is so small. And you might want to try to imagine one note on one side of the keyboard and another on a completely different side. This will create illusion of distance, and then it will be easier for you to imagine that glissando and resistance between the notes. What we often call arm weight is actually free energy within the body. Properly transferring this energy allows for a rich, round, effortless tone and prevents unnecessary tension. It's never about pressure, it's about release. Relax your jaw, throat, and back of your throat. And if your speech starts to sound loose, you are in the right zone. Imagine energy flowing effortlessly through your body, like a stream of water. It moves from your feet, through your pelvis, and back, into your shoulders, and as you lean forward slightly, feel this energy pour into your laps through your hands. Begin singing the first note of the interval at this very moment. Then maintain this posture and arm weight transfer through glissando and resistance in your singing. And now transfer this sensation to your internal singing. The way you approach the keys determines whether this free energy effectively reaches the instrument. Follow this 4-step process, aligning each movement with a steady count 1 and 2 and. 1. Lean forward, gathering energy throughout your body and your feet. And lean back, allowing the energy to rise into your upper back while lifting your arms. Keep your upper arms aligned in a straight line. With your hands, turn slightly inwards. One and 2. Lean forward again, guiding the flow downward from your shoulders and bringing your elbows down. 2. 2. 1 and 2. And land on the key with a fluid 3D wrist motion playing at 6 o'clock, ensuring the energy transfers seamlessly into the instrument. And avoid creating too much space between the key surface and your fingertips. Try to stay as close as possible before touching the key. And 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Now try the same without counting, at the natural pace, not to freeze your fluid energy. And now gradually refine the motion, reducing unnecessary movement while maintaining the internal sensation of arm weight transfer. Now it's time to bring together all 4 elements we have explored today and experience the transformation in our legato playing. First, let's play with 3D motion again, keeping our hands relaxed and empty. And since we're playing in a slow tempo, we're making full amplitude in our rolls and swings. Next, let's imagine each note in sound texture, a watery, fluid, expansive quality of the sound, with sound movement left to right and glissando between the notes. Before moving forward, let's combine our wrist 3D motion and sound imagination. Make sure that you only touch the key after you imagine the note in your mind. Next, transfer arm weight to the keyboard and then ensure a continuous flow of free energy through your internal singing with glissando and resistance, like entering the ocean and staying there. We're gonna play one more time, integrating into playing all 4 elements, our 3D wrist motion, our sound imagination, internal singing, intonation, and arm weight. And remember, your hands don't exist. They're simply a channel for your sound imagination and inner singing. And arm weight. This feels so good.